We finally get a Your episode, and it's just nothing but cooking. I'm a little upset. Honestly, the beginning of this episode obviously did not fake anyone out. We all knew exactly what she was doing, but it was still a little sad that we finally get a Your episode, and we get none of her secret side. It's just a secret that she is trying to learn how to cook, which, yes, is pretty much like her biggest challenge ever, but still. It was a little bit disappointing. I was really hoping that at least they would have some side stuff happening while she's learning how to cook, showing her actually doing her assassinations. Because again, like I've stated several times before, it's like we had assassinations happening in like, what, the second episode? And Yor has never really done anything ever since then. So I was like, I don't even know if she's still working at this point because, again, it doesn't seem like it wants to show her doing what she does, which I think is kind of unfortunate. Again, my whole, I guess, prediction as to why they decided not to do any more showing of her doing her actual job is because it kind of makes her look bad because she's just outright killing people. Whereas, like, Lloyd, he's just kind of stopping things and capturing people. Yor would be actually killing. That's what assassins do. They don't go over there and knock somebody out. But no, it was kind of funny seeing Camilla again. Camilla's, like, completely changed. I actually had to go back and confirm, like, in the second episode or something, when we first seen Camille and she invites Yor over to this party and was hoping to, like, make fun of her. And then Lloyd shows up, and then she tries to spill this stuff on Yor, and she catches it with her foot. It obviously shows that Camille has changed quite a bit. She transitioned from being, like, the nasty bad girl to her being, like, just tsundere. Really, it's just tsundere. But it was really cute. Seeing the change in Camille was really cute. But yeah, open up this episode, we had Yor coming home late, and Lloyd's taking note of it. He's obviously taking note of, like, everything that's wrong with Yor when she comes in. She's gloomy. She's got cuts on her hands. He's trying to put together exactly what's happening with Yor because she's not telling him what she's doing because she's keeping cooking a secret. But it was really cool because we actually had our first time ever where something that Bond has foreseen actually happened. Because Anya and Bond didn't really do anything to change the future, it came through. What Anya seen in Bond's mind was Yor crying into her hands, and that technically did come true at the very end of the episode. But it wasn't a bad cry, it was a good cry. She was upset, and it's cool because I almost thought they were trying to insinuate that was the point where she went into her room was crying, but it's something that actually came true in the end. But yeah, we find out really quickly that Yor is trying to ask all of her friends at work, co-workers, if they could teach her how to cook, and eventually this one guy, Camille's fiance or whatever, kind of ropes her into helping Yor learn how to cook. It was all because Yor fears that the marriage, the thing that she's using to cover up that she's an assassin and that she's single, is in jeopardy because she doesn't know how to cook, because Lloyd spent an entire day in the bathroom for the breakfast that she cooked him, which is a reference to the very first episode of this season. But this is actually pretty cool because despite it being a cooking montage, Yor learning how to be the perfect wife, it was really kind of hitting more on Yor's life because we have Yuri coming in to do taste testing, and what we kind of see with this whole encounter is that Yor's really terrible at cooking. She had to on the spot learn how to cook because she didn't have any parents. So everything she cooked was terrible. She didn't know how to cook. But yet Yuri was always eating whatever she cooked. As long as he got his, nutrients, she didn't really care. She threw something together, and he always accepted it because he loved his sister. But what came of that was the fact that his taste buds suck, so he's constantly eating and puking things out that she feeds him, and they don't really know how to cook good things. So what was really cool is that Camilla eventually realizes, oh, that's right, she doesn't have any parents. So what was the one thing that your parents cooked before that you can remember, and that was the stew. And so obviously something that she remembers, she'll know what it tastes like, and she'll understand what's good and what's bad. And so it turns to them making the stew. Doesn't quite turn out right until they realize that they're from the Eastern Nelsberg, which they usually put sour cream in their stuff, and they do that, and it turns out perfect. So it was really cute. And now she finally has one thing that she can cook for Lloyd that actually tastes good. Cue the montage of Yor cooking terribly, cutting through the cutting board, chopping meat too thin, Camilla wondering how she ever got married, and the entire time Yuri is nearby going, I'm going to murder this lady. I'll have her executed. But it was cool seeing Camilla actually acknowledge the idea that Yor has changed. She used to be very robotic. Like, that was her. Like, she went and did her jobs at night, went to work just to have a cover story, did her job, went back, did her night jobs. It was really kind of her seeing that she went from this robotic self to somebody that has a purpose, so to speak. But yeah, that all turns into her cooking it for Lloyd and Nyanya and then loving it, and it was super cute. But what I really especially liked about this scene was it was Yor realizing that kind of similar to what we're getting from Lloyd as we're kind of progressing Lloyd's story, is this moment where Yor realizes that there's something more important than just the mission. She wanted to learn how to cook something good for Lloyd and Anya to secure her place as a wife in this household, but then realizing how rewarding it is to have them smile and enjoy and acknowledge what she's done. That was the reward. It wasn't securing her position. So it was super cute. And that was pretty much it. Like, just half an episode. And again, I'm really kind of bummed at the fact that we didn't have her at least take some moment to run off and take out somebody and come back or something. Just something cool for Yor to do. Again, I've heard people say, no, just wait. She'll have her moments. But it's like, at this point, we're like three quarters into the first whole season of Spy X Family. We're never going to get it. I don't think we're ever going to get it. Maybe at the very end. I guess we still have the OP, her being cool in the OP. I mean, she has her moments, knocking out bad guys and stuff like that, saving Anya, but it's not the same as, like I said, the gritty nature that is what her job is. I think the moment that she finally kills somebody, I'm going to be super shocked because I just don't think she does it. I don't think she ever did. We also did have a moment where Lloyd was talking about teaching Bond defensive training. But yeah, the other half is really just Frankie trying to get with some girl, which was kind of super depressing for him. I kind of think that eventually it'll come back to him. Like, there was a side of me that was kind of thinking that he was going to get a phone call or something at some point saying, you know, hey, sorry, I was really telling the truth. The gas was turned off. But yes, technically the gas being left on is pretty much, hey, I don't want to be here. Maybe it was something else. Maybe I still have a side that Frankie wasn't turned down like that. I mean, if she accepted to take him on a date and then says, oh, by the way, I have this gas to turn off maybe another time, doesn't really make sense to me. So it makes me believe that she was probably just making up something just because she had something else come up. I'm also kind of wondering if she's possibly the person that's in the OP that is at Lloyd's table. Maybe she's under disguise or something. But yeah, Frankie fell in love. The scene between Frankie and Lloyd was great because like at the first he's like, I'm going to reveal all of your secrets to the secret police if you don't help me. And then he's like immediately like, what? I'm just kidding. It's like, yeah, that's not really something you want to say to Lloyd if you want to end up dead. But it was funny, kind of turn this whole thing where Frankie's laying out everything, which is exactly what he does. So I don't know why it shocks Lloyd. He's like, you're a stalker. He's like, dude, we do this all the time. But this Lloyd lays out this huge conversational flow chart, and it's like, yeah, that's exactly what Lloyd does. And Frankie can't do that. They do some practices and then eventually goes and tries to get a date. Apparently he got the date, like I said, and then eventually she said, oh, I got the gas left on, I gotta go. Which is super depressing. Like Anya walks up and grabs his arm because she knows what he's thinking. She's got like this really depressed look on her face. But no, it was cute. I like the bar scene where Frankie comes in there and Lloyd enters and buys him a drink and they start talking. It's, again, here hitting on the idea that, you know, normally we're not supposed to really get attached to people. So her turning him down is actually a good thing. You shouldn't get attached to people. He's like, well, you have a family. He's like, that's only for work. But an overall solid episode. Next episode looks like it's going to possibly have Lloyd meeting with somebody. Might be this other person, the OP. But additionally, Damien talking to somebody. And the epic return of Henry. Let's get some elegance back into the show. But yeah, that's my thoughts on episode 16 of Spy X Family. Again, still love seeing more of Yor, but I'm still disappointed. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure to hit that like button down below. Comment, let me know what's thought of the episode. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, we have a Patreon link, a tips link, and a super thanks button down below. Greatly appreciate everybody that does. And y'all take care.